Now, what are the advantage of doing the zero-based budget? Obviously, apart from a very better communication and looking at being relevant in the market, the one of the advantage is the accuracy. Accuracy is because this type of budgeting will help the company to evaluate every single department and to ensure they are appropriately funded. So, it means we are allocating the resources thoughtfully and saying that if we need to carry out certain activities in marketing, certain activities in production, certain activities in the research and development, we have resources for that particular department, and the resource allocation is more accurate compared to a traditional method where we don't think about the resources, we think about what we want to achieve. But in zero based budgeting, we are going to look at what do we have and what do we want to do, and allocate the resources accordingly. So accuracy is far better in zero based budgeting. Efficiency is greater because it helps to judge the actual needs of by focusing on the current numbers rather than the momentum of the previous budgets. Because we have reset the zero, there may be certain expenses which are not effective anymore, but just because we have been doing them, we are continuing to do it. If we have been subscribing to the newspaper, now we don't look at newspapers whether they are being they read by our staff or not, but because we have a tendency of buying a newspaper for their knowledge, we have been subscribing, and even because it's a small expense, nobody really bothers about it. But with a zero based budgeting, because we are going to reset every single spend and say what do we really need now, we may not require, or we may not even need that kind of service. We may buy the digital stuff, right, rather than physical newspaper stuff. So that's the way how it's helpful. It's more efficient. It's reduce the waste because as we have discussed, we are looking at all the activities and then remove the ones which are not going to add the value towards the end. So usually we prioritize whether we are going to have expenses which are innovative, means and are going to add the value to the customer, or going to add value to the organization by reducing the expenses, or by helping to standardize the process, or by increasing the revenue potential of the company or safety potential of the company. So we will remove the expenses which does not add any value, right? So on our KPIs or on our KRAs, we will look at the expenses which are going to only help those specific targets or objectives that we want to achieve, and avoid everything else which is considered as waste. Then coordination and communication between the departments becomes so much easier. Reason because everybody is involved in developing this kind of budget. They are deliberating whether they should choose option A or option B or option C of doing things, and because they know they have chosen certain things, the sense of ownership is larger, and the communication and coordination is much easier in zero based budgeting. So that's because they are in the decision making process. They are the one who are choosing which option they want to propose to the management in order to get the budget approval. These are the advantages. As with any other good thing in the world, zero-based budgeting also does not come free of any kind of disadvantages. There are certain disadvantages related to the zero-based budgeting.